I have seen well over 200 movies at this point as a horror fan over the last few years, and I have to say, this is probably one of the most unique horror movies I've ever seen, and a ghost story nonetheless. Dead Talent Society is a Taiwanese horror movie that tells the story of a ghost who must try out to scare people to get a scare license so they don't disappear within 30 days. Now, I do want to acknowledge that I am from the US, so there are going to be things in this movie that go over my head culturally or I don't fully understand because I'm not from that culture. So I do want to acknowledge that our jokes go over my head. I do want to acknowledge that here. So with that really being acknowledged, I do want to say I really did enjoy this movie, and when I was just scrolling through Netflix and I saw it and I just clicked on it, I did not expect to love it as much as I did. Now this movie, the main thing that makes it unique really is you follow the perspective of the ghost perspective the entire way. It's the mundane regular ghost, and you see that from perspective of the other ghosts around her and what they do. And so to say that, go to my first positive, I really enjoyed the characters in this one. I liked our main character we followed. I like her story and just how her family was. I also really enjoyed the other characters with Kathy and like the manager of Kathy and her in the haunted ghost house. I just really enjoyed their stories. I really liked Kathy's character the best, how she was kind of cold to some people and not cold the other way. And I understand how she got there, and I just really enjoyed her story and connected with it more than any of the other stories personally. And I also really enjoyed the comedy in this one. I think it was done really well. Now there is probably some things that flew over my head or again I didn't understand, but I enjoyed it for the most part. And as a scare actor that I kind of been the last couple of years, I really kind of enjoy saying that kind of setup because that really is kind of what it's like working at a haunted house. So I kind of do get a kick out of watching movies like that, how they set up and do all that stuff. I enjoyed seeing that part as well. I also really did enjoy the horror and the gore they use. It is done very well in this movie. It is done great. And this movie also does a really good job at commenting commentary about Hollywood and going viral. That is pretty much in your face the entire time. That is very real till today. Even taking another one of the main stars that really started being very popular, I think if anyone sees the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I just cannot pronounce that name on top of my head right now. And I enjoyed that because it really showed the depth of what someone will go through, and also gave depth and kind of how Kathy is cold and kind of warms up to people eventually, and how her avoidance really strangers on people who leave. Now, going off of my commentary about Hollywood, I really enjoyed how they really showed how they exploited everyone and how it's really just trying to stay up with the times. This movie was very surprisingly heartfelt, which I really enjoyed. I was very surprised by how heartfelt it was, especially the ending. I really enjoyed the ending on this one. It was really like sweet and in a way kind of bonded everyone, and just seeing how the character kind of came out of her shell. I really got a kick out of that. But overall, that is really all my positives. I don't really have any mix for this because this is a great, fantastic movie to check out if you haven't. So right now, just a warning, I do want to get into some spoilers. And the first spoiler I really want to talk about here is just the fact of the relationships between everybody. One of the main things I like this movie does is that it explores the topic of the ghost and how they don't forget their past life. And the reason why I really connect with Kathy probably more than anyone else is having strong feelings for someone and just still caring about them, and how she's kind of cold but kind of warmer to that person, if that makes sense. And I can connect with that a bit more. I also really enjoyed the family and how she kind of felt like kind of the outcast of the family and like she couldn't live up to her sibling to a degree. That's what I got from the character. And I kind of felt that way a little bit in my family, not in a certain side of my family. And I really do enjoy the ending, just how everyone comes together, and it just comes together so great. And I also really like the commentary, again, like I said before. I kind of want to expand on this a little bit further of how they really went trying to get the most viral and trying to become well known. And the fear when there's a scene when that guy kind of disappears and becoming relevant, and that kind of thing. I feel like that's very real till today, and that kind of shakes everyone. And the conversation Kathy has with the new girl, and she just says, that whole conversation, A+ scene. This whole movie is great. Overall, I would definitely say to check this movie out if you haven't. It's currently on Netflix as of filming this right now. I don't know if it's going to stay on Netflix permanently. So, yes, comment down below if you guys have seen Dead Talent Society. And by the way, there is a post-credit scene that is pretty funny. So, check that out if you haven't. So, yeah. If you want to see more from me, you can hit that subscribe button because I do like talking about movies like this that surprise me whenever I get a chance. And I'll see you guys soon with a brand new video.